I'm Jillian.
And I'm Natasha. And this is Mental Mudslide.
Each episode, we slide down the slippery slopes of our minds. I've got some garden gummies, a head full of wild ideas, and zero filters.
And I'm here to ride that wave and see where our mental mudslides take us. It's all about fun, unexpected turns, and a deep dive into the wacky and wonderful.
You're listening to the After the Slide Companion episode. If you haven't listened to the full episode titled Chickens, Mice, and Bears, oh my, go do that now or you'll be confused.
All right, well, guys, I'm really excited. We have a guest on the show today, a part-time listener, first-time caller, Mr. Dick Willie.
Welcome, Dick.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing tonight?
We're off to a banging start.
So, guys, we decided we would ask Mr. Willie here if he wanted to come on the pod today because he was actually part of one of the conversations we had on our mental mudslide. Man versus bear.
Do you recall this conversation, Mr. Willie?
I do recall this conversation because it was right after we were talking about some kind of candy that didn't taste like anything.
That's right.
Which is also a previous episode. Yes, that was the saliva candy. Yeah, so what was your first thought when you were asked the question or when you were presented with this man versus bear? Was that the first time you had heard of it, or had you heard of it prior to the conversation we had together?
I've heard of it a bunch at this point. I just thought it was a ridiculous question.
Could you expand on that, sir?
Yeah, the reason why I never liked that question to begin with is because it was a lot of females just totally glossing over the fact that they can be manipulative too. Like, it's not just man bear. It's, would I take any person over a bear? Probably not.
Whoa, so you would take a bear every time?
Most likely.
Damn. You know what? I actually.
So wait. So you chose the bear?
Every time.
Oh.
I think I missed it that night when we were having this conversation that you chose the bear, but I actually love that because it adds extra fuel to the fire.
Because I did want to ask you today. I was going to ask you, what if it was woman versus bear? Now I don't have to.
No, it's both sexes are equally as manipulative. It's just a matter of in which way.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, I always thought of it just as literally like if I literally put myself in the woods and I'm just walking in the woods and I happen upon a bear or I happen upon a human, which would I prefer? I went human. I feel like my odds are probably better with a human because I don't know what the outcome is or the intent is or any of that. But in real life, I walk down the street and I'm crossing the paths of humans constantly and nothing bad is happening. So I don't know why it would be more likely for them to be bad in the woods than a bear. So that's kind of why I went with human. I don't think I said man or woman. I think I said human.
Chose the bear, and let me tell you why. Because it didn't say that the bear was attacking. It didn't say anything. There was, would you rather come upon a bear or a man? If I'm lost deep in the woods, a bear feels like it's in its right place. Whereas if there's a man there, I now have variables that I don't have the answer to, but I could suspect if I'm lost deep in the woods that this person is either there for bad reasons or they're also lost and now I'm going to have to take care of somebody.
Or they're just in the woods. I mean, why are you in the woods? That's the other part I don't get. Like
because I got lost.
Right, but you don't like just so happen you're walking down a street and all of a sudden you're halfway in the woods. Like you intentionally went to the woods, right? Like that's not a thing. You can get lost in the woods, but you were in the woods to begin with for a reason. So that other person could also just want to be in the woods and know how to get out of the woods. Like, I don't know why we're assuming they're lost.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah, we're assuming the worst in all.
And I'm not. I was going like, what's the most likely, I guess? Like, I have not yet been murdered. I'm not saying that it won't happen. Right. But my experience, I've had a lot of experiences with humans that did not murder me or do other things. So I just figured, my odds are pretty okay that might
Mhm.
continue to happen with a stranger in the woods.
Yeah, far more likely you're
Yeah.
fine. We're going to become codependent with each other because we both need
Yeah.
things. But the premise of the question about not knowing what man wants, I don't know what half women want. They might just want me for a meal and bounce. I don't know.
I think I'd go with the bear then. I feel like they'd be tastier. Like, throw them over the grill, then I could like take their pelt, keep myself warm. I don't know. Maybe I'm going bear now. Maybe I'm going team bear, guys.
Yeah, it was just the premise of the question I just thought was fairly ridiculous because it was always very negative towards you never know what a man's going to do. I don't know what anybody's going to do.
That is true.
Well, I think that it kind of boiled down to like a large number of women have had those negative experiences, right? So I think it just comes down to if you've had a negative experience in the past, you may be choosing the bear for that
I've
reason.
never had a good experience with a bear. I'm just gonna say straight up, y'all. Like,
I mean,
I can't speak to.
they're always behind the glass
Exactly.
at the zoo,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, so I haven't had any experiences with bears. Yeah.
So, Mr. Willie, you're the first caller we've had of the opposite sex. So, just curious, um, what have you thought about the episodes you've listened to so far?
They're funny. They're entertaining for sure. I wish they'd go a little bit longer because you two share a brain cell sometimes. And when you go off on a tangent, by the time it comes back to where we are, I'm like, we're just getting started. This is dumb.
Fair, fair.
It's true.
But I don't know if we always
It's
circle
true.
back, though. I think sometimes just by
I,
happenstance, if that ever happens.
I don't know. There's somebody in Antarctica that's just sitting there like, I don't know where the hell we are, but let's go.
Well, we're hoping to get to number one in Antarctica someday. That's our goal. So if we can at least get 4 people, I think we'll be the number one pod in Antarctica. So that's what we're hoping for.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're going to go with the easiest goal.
Exactly. So, Mr. Willie, since you were part of the candy experiment, just wanted to see, like, did we represent you well? Did you have anything that you wanted to add on to the saliva candy topic?
No, it was interesting to be a part of. Mr. Jillian had it right. It tasted like nothing. It was just slippery.
Mm-hmm. Especially when wet, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
It's
Yes.
not something I would do again. However, that candy cane, phenomenal.
I'm sorry that it was like 8 months old when you ate it, but
Didn't care. They don't go bad.
they don't.
Oh, man. So on our last episode, Jillian, I think we talked a lot about the bear. We talked a lot about the man.
Yes.
We also
Uh-huh.
talked a lot about chickens. And I think one thing that maybe didn't come across was that you have a chicken coop at your house. I think
Yes.
I don't know if people
I have a
knew about that.
Yes, I have a chicken coop at my house, and my chickens are bougie as fuck, yo. They have a Wi-Fi enabled chicken door, so if I am traveling, I check to make sure that they all made it in, and I can close the door. If not, how do I check if they all make it in? Because I got a camera on the outside of the chicken coop, and I got a camera on the inside of the chicken coop. So, like I said, bougie chickens. I was making sure that they had all made it in because I was with Natasha in another state. So we looked in on the cameras to make sure that nobody got stuck outside and I didn't have to open the door and let them in. And that's when we saw the mouse, which we have. I mean, they live in the barn. It's a very real barn. It's like an actual barn, not
Bougie
like
barn.
not like a storage building. Yeah, it's not a bougie barn. It's like a real barn. So there's a lot of animal activity in the barn. So the mice, it's just something that happens, right? So we get mice in there sometimes. All of the mice are named the same thing, Fred Sneakers. because he sneaks around there. I don't know why we named him that, but that's what the kids named the mice.
So, Jillian, after listening back to the episode and seeing how successful we were at scaring off the mouse, do you still feel like any concern that yelling in the vicinity of a chicken is chicken abuse?
a little bit. I feel bad.
But it was like for their benefit.
Like
right, but we weren't yelling at the
eating...
chickens. We were yelling at the mouse to protect the chickens.
Right? So collateral abuse? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, they also
no reaction.
had the yelling happen to them, but they also didn't react.
Yeah,
so
I mean, if
I
anything,
guess
it's mouse
fine.
abuse.
And I've clearly done that, So I want to tell you about what happened last year between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We're not going to...
In the chicken
with
coop.
mice?
Yes, in the chicken coop between Thanksgiving
and Christmas. That's when you killed Matt Perry. So this was a very busy season for you.
It was, yes. Oh, just you wait. Oh, just you wait.
Oh,
okay.
Lord.
So when it starts to get cold, like about October, we see an uptick in mice when you live on land, right? And in November, I started noticing that there were mice last year. And so I set a trap in the chicken coop so that way the chickens couldn't get to it. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas last year, I caught 32 mice.
Did you feed them to the chicken?
No. But I did watch them on the camera approach the first night when I set the things. I was like, I saw 8 mice in there one day. We just had like an infestation of mice one day. I think one of the mice had a bunch of baby mice or something, and there were 8 mice I could see on the camera. So I immediately went out to the chicken coop, set up some mouse traps, put it so that the chickens couldn't get to them, right? Because I don't want my chickens to get stuck in a mouse trap. And then went back inside, watched on the camera, and it only took like 5 minutes for 3 mouse traps to go off.
So you just watched the mouse massacre. Like, wow.
I did. I watched it on the camera.
I did not know this about you.
So if you have chickens, so we have a big whiteboard in our game room, and because it was Christmas time, it was like getting to be Christmas time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we actually wrote, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And then we kept a tally. So,
of just mice murders?
Every time that I caught a mouse, I would add a tick mark. So there were 32.
What did you do with these mice? What did you do with them afterwards?
What? I threw them away. I didn't want, who knows what they did. What if, well, I mean, we don't have any poison or anything, and the barn is pretty far from any other houses, so it probably wouldn't, but I wouldn't want to take that risk of a mouse having gotten into poison and then my chickens eat it, and then we're essentially eating poison from the eggs. So I don't feed the dead mice to the chickens. That's just, in my opinion, a bad idea. Yeah.
Well,
the other thing I had was I just was curious. You said that the chicken crop, so the little sack thing that the food goes into to get kind of chewed up before it goes to their tummy, that they have to swallow rocks and oyster shells and hard things to kind of act as the teeth. Well, what happens to, why do they have to keep eating those? Do they regurgitate those? Do they poop those out? Why? Once you have 5 rocks, aren't you good to go for decades? I don't understand. How often what's happening to them?
I don't know. You told me that you wanted to just wonder about it, so I didn't research anymore.
I thought, I didn't want you to research it. I just want to know what happens to the rocks and the oysters. Well,
so the oyster shell is I think that is just calcium, so it gets absorbed by them. It breaks down.
Okay,
it's
it breaks down.
That breaks down.
Got it.
And then it's called chicken grit. I mean, it's kind of like a rock, but I am not sure what the makeup of grit is.
It's not granite. It's something probably that breaks up and gets down to sand or something.
Could be lava rock or something for all I know. I don't know what it is. I buy the chicken grit. I'm just like, let me buy that. So they need the oyster shell, which has the calcium, not for the hardness, but so that they have calcium. They have to eat that in order to make new shells.
Got it.
So something else that I do is I save all of my eggshells and then I boil them and I crunch them up and then I give them back to them. So they eat their own shells to get the calcium back.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
cool.
Why
do you clean them and give them back? Why don't you just give them back?
Well, because then those little bitches will get a taste for eating eggs and then they eat their eggs. They have been eating their eggs. So a lot of times we're supposed to have 13 eggs a day. And a lot of times we only get about 8 or 9 eggs a day. And sometimes they're covered in egg yolk. Because they've eaten another one. Those little bitches.
Maybe they're just like, you know what? These are my babies. If anybody's going to eat them, it's going to be me. I'm tired of you using me for my like unfertilized offspring, you know?
Eat all day long, all the time. You asked about that. You were like, why aren't they just like eating at the food bin? And I was like, they always do. They always eat at the food bin.
Well, I thought maybe maybe the mouse was in like more of like where you store the food, not necessarily like where the chickens eat from, but maybe.
Nope, that's where they eat from. So we have, so the food is stored outside of their coop, and then we fill up this 5-gallon bucket, and it's got these little like round things that the chickens stick their head in, and they can get from there.
That makes sense. Hey,
and then we have a clucket bucket, on the counter. Bucket? But we call it the clucket bucket, and any food scraps that we have in the house go in the clucket bucket because chickens can eat pretty much anything.
I love that.
So they got some In-N-Out burger the other day because one of my kiddos couldn't finish theirs. Tonight they got, so I'll just like gather up all the food scraps to go if we go out to eat. Like if the kids don't finish something, I take it to go and it goes to the chickens. So tonight they got pho.
Oh, are their eggs going to taste better tomorrow?
I have no idea. I'll let you know.
Just feed them nothing but pineapple for a month and see what happens. Like,
oh my God. Actually, you know what? So I give them like melon. They love watermelon. I have given them like a watermelon that I just cut in half and gave them both half of.
Yeah.
And I'll come back like an hour later and there's like no melon left. It's like all the way down. And super fun. Last year, we gave the chickens a pumpkin, but we just like put little tiny holes in like where the eyes would be and where the mouth was. And we came back like an hour later and they had carved our jack-o'-lantern for us.
That is so fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love it. Oh, you got to do that again this year.
Yeah, I'll do it. And I'll put the picture on our Facebook and in our newsletter.
I can't wait to see the jack-o'-lantern carved by a chicken. This is amazing. And I want to know if their yolks are oranger or if their eggs are tastier after.
You know, Mr. Jillian has had to, because he doesn't have access to the farm fresh eggs anymore. So he's had to go back to store-bought.
Oh,
and he's feeling, I know, the horror, right? He's feeling it. He's like, these shells are different. Like the eggs are different. The yolks are different. They don't taste the same. Like it's really hard to go back.
Yep.
From farm fresh.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to go down to the farmer's market on the weekends. So
yeah,
he's going to have to like pay up the big bucks, I guess, for the eggs.
Yeah. So, you know what? The chickens and the mice actually kind of leads into another topic that we had on the podcast and kind of about murder as well, right? If an animal eats another animal whole,
swallows it whole,
right? So
while it's
swallows it whole, how is it going to fight? Yeah, how is it going to fight it? Like, why isn't it fighting its way out? Do you have any thoughts on that, Mr. Willie?
I listened to that whole thing, and my only thought was, I don't know where the hell we are.
it was a late night. That's where we were.
My best guess, having not researched it after that episode, is probably it has to do with stomach acids and everything else. They're probably done once they get in.
So, Natasha sent me a couple of videos. What did you find in your research, ma'am?
Just a really cute bird that has a giant mouth and giant eyes. That's adorable, makes funny noises. And then I went off of a tangent and did not continue down the whole digestive process. I was like, look how cute this random bird is. That was my extent.
Oh, yay, birds.
That was my extent. What did you find, Jillian?
Oh, I found a lot. So yeah, I looked into like it does come into the stomach acid, right? But before it actually hits stomach acid, they die from suffocation because there isn't enough air for them to breathe. So as something's getting swallowed,
instant?
like
I just feel like I'm going into a mouth. My stinger's coming out. I'm going for it, like immediately. Like I don't understand how there's not more like death by ingestion, I guess.
yeah. So a lot of things like are killing it as it goes into their mouth. So like a snake, even though it eats that hole, it's constricting it before it gets in, so it really can't fight that much.
Most snakes don't
but
they wait until you're dead, whether it's they constrict you or they like put venom in you and then move away and wait for you to be paralyzed. Snakes was not, I don't know how snakes came up because snakes aren't one where they eat you technically while you're fully capable of defending yourself, right? They, choke you out or they envenom. What is the word when you venomize something? It's not poison.
I don't know.
Let's just make up a word. Envenom?
No.
Because poison and venom are two different things.
Right. I'm not sure what it is, but I did find one other fact that I'd really like to share with you.
Shoot.
So first of all, it's unlikely because you would be either constricted or like run out of air or whatever that you could climb out alive. However, a sperm whale is the only animal large enough to swallow a human whole without killing them first.
So that whole thing where like you go inside a whale on a rowboat and you hang out with a lantern, that's technically possible with a sperm whale?
I guess.
Interesting.
Where I grew up, there was this place where they had brought to life, it was called Storybook Island.
Okay.
And they'd brought all of the stories, like Jack and Jill. There was actually like a hill with like a little thing and like pails, and they had like brought all of these things to life in like, I don't know, like chicken wire and like concrete or something. I don't know how they made them. Anyway, so they brought all of the stories together. And they had a giant whale and you could go inside the whale. And as a kid, I remember going inside the whale and thinking it was so big in there. I went back as an adult to take my children and I was like, I am a giant. And this whale has
just
shrunk.
Like payphones, bro.
It was so tiny.
Just like payphones.
Yeah, right.
They are so much smaller now
God.
than when I was a kid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, there is something that happened in the episode that I noticed that I don't know if people who were listening knew it was happening. Fun fact, Natasha can't give a high five.
Yeah, I know.
I've known that for years.
So there's a part of the episode where Jillian's attempting to give me a high five over and over and over, but I don't think anybody actually like knows what's happening in the episode. That's what's happening at the end. We're trying to high five because, we scared the mouse off and just zero contact. Zero. Impossible.
Yeah. It's for whatever reason, it seems like Natasha can get closer to high-fiving other people, but with me, it just doesn't connect.
I don't know. Remember with Emily?
I don't know.
You remember with Emily? I fully missed and smacked her ass. Like it went all the way around and like hit her.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a depth perception thing. She used to hit me just like fingers in the palm. Yay.
We can't be good at everything. There's got to be something in this world that, you're not the best at. So
yeah, you can't high five. You can't win a dart war. It is what it is.
Excuse me, sir? Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
She's
I
terrible
will
with dart
blast
guns.
you.
Okay.
You were shopping for one the other day.
Oh,
Did you find?
I have new Nerf guns. Oh, so excited. I have a bag that holds all of my Nerf
Oh,
guns and
watch your
bullets,
back, Dick
and
Willie.
also doubles as a target practice. So it has like target holes on the side. So when you take everything out, the bag can now be used a second way. I love something that's efficient and effective like that. Oh man, so excited. Yeah. Smooch got his first revolver Nerf gun. So like one-handed reload. Very excited for him. Very exciting.
That is very exciting.
I have accepted your challenge. I see you. I see you, Mr. Willie. I
Yeah,
see you.
time flies. Time flies. Today he got his first Nerf gun, and you'll blink, and I'll give him concealed carry class. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I have I don't even know, probably 50 Nerf guns in this house that I could produce right away. There's so many. They're everywhere. I swear to God, there's all these different kinds of bullets. There's like round ones, and there's big fatty ones, and there's some with like little suction cups on the end. Like all the guns take a
Yeah.
different kind of ammo. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Maybe the greatest toy ever made.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It might be. The boy here had hundreds of those things before I finally got rid of them when he was late high school because they were just piling up. So I started giving them to other kids.
Yeah. Well, my son is now at prime age for me to sneak up on him and just shoot his ass. And I'm so excited about it.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite things in life.
constantly.
No, just, hey, honey, come into the kitchen. It's time for lunch. Bam. That's how I'm rolling, right? Just ambush for no reason. Well, Mr. Willie, we really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us or our Mudslide mamas today?
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I have one final question that we actually didn't get to.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay, so at the end, I closed the episode. By the way, we've talked before how I was so many sheets to the wind. I think it was really kicking in there because I was getting weird with the roly-poly and stuff. But okay, I have a couple of questions. Actually, did you call it a roly-poly or was it a pill bug?
It's a roly-poly.
Yeah, okay. You get a stay. The next question is the book I was telling, the manuscript from our childhood that I was telling Natasha about that she didn't know. The old
Was it
lady
the
who
attic
swallowed
thing?
a fly.
Is it
Did
a
you
Shel
know
Silverstein
that?
story? What is it? No.
No, it's
No,
not.
I don't even remember who wrote it. I remember it's kind of a not a nursery rhyme, but everybody knew it because you would kind of sing it in order.
Yeah, so it's a children's like nursery rhyme, and it has like a really long history. But I actually had a physical book of the nursery rhyme, so I always thought it was a book until after the episode I looked it up because I hadn't thought of it in forever. But it was released all the way back in 1950, but I think I remember the 1973 version of it as a book. Even though I wasn't alive in 73. It's like the book was around my house.
I still feel like, that never would have happened because it sounds like the fly would have died immediately. So she didn't really need to eat anything else. I think she was just using it as an excuse because she was real hungry. You know what I mean?
It says that the fly, so she swallowed a fly, we don't know why. Then she swallowed a spider that wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside her, and then it goes on and keeps going. But
yeah, that just sounds like story time at Diddy's house.
Oh. Yeah, a lot's coming back to him, isn't it? What goes around comes around is what's going on for that man.
I just want to do a quick check-in. How many bottles of baby oil do you have in your house? I have 0.
Oh man, I'd have to count them all up. Carry the one. Oh, one.
Just in the kitchen. Oh.
What about you, Natasha? Do you have any baby oil in your house? Do you think you even have one bottle? I don't even have one bottle.
I don't think I do.
Right?
Maybe
you
I should
imagine
get some
1,000?
now. I feel like you could use
I
it for like
actually,
makeup remover or something, you know?
I really thought about this and I was like, okay, bottles, like I gave this a lot of thought when I saw the story come out. I was like, if you have 20 bottles of anything, that's taking up an entire like shelf in
Yeah,
your
but at
like,
the
right?
same
So
time,
a
A, if you're a
thousand,
Costco member, two, if you have a mansion, you know, you
if he
have room
has
for
Costco, 1,000 Costco size bottles of baby oil, that's like a whole other story. Like those are huge.
Oh, okay. I've never bought baby oil
I
at
don't
Costco. I just
know.
thought it
I'm
would be a bunch
guessing.
of bottles of baby oil.
I don't know. I feel like all of their bottles are like bigger bottles. So
Jillian, other than your margarita in a bag, what is the oddest thing you have in your refrigerator or your pantry right now?
are you giving away the fact that I'm drinking a margarita in a bag right now? I'm drinking a margarita
Maybe.
in a bag. Okay. The weirdest thing in my pantry or refrigerator right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh. So I'm gluten free, so I can't eat this. But I bought this for my kiddos. It was ramen in a cup,
Mm-hmm.
but it was s'mores flavored.
Oh, God. That sounds
It was fit.
disgusting.
You know what? It did sound. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I gotta get it for them. I gotta try it, right?" I got like, so I got them each a 50-cent like ramen in a cup, and it was s'mores flavored. And one of the kids ate it, and the other one has not touched theirs.
Is it legit like ramen noodles that taste like it, or is it just like oatmeal in a
No, girl,
cup?
it's ramen. It's like the noodles, and then it has a s'mores seasoning on. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to eat it anyway, so.
Wow.
Hard pass.
Wow.
Well, okay, but like I saw it and I was like, my kids like weird shit. Okay, I'm gonna get this for them, and it's $1. Full investment, $1, 50 cents a piece. That's a
Mhm.
fun gift to get for. I'm the type of person who gives those type of gifts. I'm like, this made me think of your weird ass. Here's some ramen noodles that taste like s'mores.
Do you keep your baby oil refrigerated? Is that the weirdest thing in your fridge, or?
Oh, it's the best way to keep it. So when it hits the skin, you get that nice little goosebumpy sort of shock. Yeah, I don't know where else I would keep it, to be honest with you.
Good point. Good point. Fair. Fair.
I know this isn't after the slide, but I want to bring up a controversy that I'm unsure if you're aware of, Natasha, that has been going around. I heard about this, and we'll ask Mr. Willie here.
Well, probably
Also,
not, is my guess.
okay, so someone brought up, and it came up because of the refrigerator thing. So someone brought up the fact that there's so many bottles of olive oil out there, and there aren't enough olive trees to make that much olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you can tell is you put it in the refrigerator, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and if it
Hardens.
like hardens, I don't remember.
Solidifies.
I can't remember if that's good or bad now. Oh my gosh!
But that's how you tell if it's.
Controversy. Yeah, something, either it stays liquid or it like solidifies, and then you'll know if your olive oil is real or not based
That
on
makes
that.
sense.
But
There's
it's
actually
just
a
like
lot
the,
of counterfeit food going on right now, especially in Africa, particularly for oils and also rice. They're filling rice. They're adding plastic beads to rice in Africa to like, because the bead will look like it is a grain of rice. And so they're kind of like doing like filler into rice, but also in like the oils and then also in body products. So yeah, it's a real deal thing. It's not always other oils that you can eat. Got to be careful, guys.
so
Be careful out there.
olive oil will solidify if it's real in the fridge. So that's like the big controversy going around right now about olive oil.
Yeah.
Apparently Costco's olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
good to go.
Great. I did not know about this controversy.
I don't know what happens to baby oil in the fridge.
Yeah, it just gets nice and chill.
You have to put it in the freezer to get it if you want it real thick, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross.
I did want to mention something now that we've had the bear conversation. I saw on a walk this week, a lady's vehicle had a bumper sticker that says, "I choose the bear" on it. And I need to thank you guys, because had we not had that conversation, I would have had no idea what the fuck that bumper sticker was about. It was like a little cartoon bear, and it said, "I choose the bear" on it. So,
Do
And
you
I
think
hope
you... Go ahead, Mr. Willie.
I'm just saying, I hope when she blows a tire that everybody reads that bumper sticker and just passes her ass.
the bear won't.
Okay.
The bear's going to help.
Okay, here's my question, Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would have noticed that bumper sticker or read it or like even had a second thought about it?
I wouldn't have understood what it was. I'd have been like, okay, and kept moving. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm better off without social media. So I'll continue in that space.
Yeah.
About not giving a fuck of what's happening out in the world. At
Mhm.
least in the like TikToks and whatever else is that
you
are
have
out there.
me to fill you in.
That's right. Only the best
Um,
things. Only bears, men, olive oil, just the
I have a
basics.
bumper sticker weird thing. Did I tell you about my realization of how dumb I am based on bumper stickers? No?
No.
All right,
Well,
here
maybe
goes.
you have.
I'm
To be
about
fair,
to
maybe you
spill.
have. I don't know.
Let me spill. Okay, so bumper stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a bumper sticker that says something like, honk if you like pizza, right? Or honk if you like whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Like honk if you love dogs, honk if math's your favorite. I don't know, whatever it is. I was like, oh, those people love dogs. Those people love pizza. They're trying to form community, right? I'm trying to find other people who love dogs or pizza or whatever. And I realized
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
The only one I've ever heard of is honk if you're horny, and I'm not sure if they're trying to build a community.
Okay, but
Well, they
you know,
are. It involves upside down pineapples and everything else.
Okay.
So
that's not what
upside
it's
down
meant
pineapple cake. Oh my god, that sounds delicious.
It really does. We'll have to make one of those.
Yes, let's
when
make
I'm
one of
there.
those.
Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. So I found out what that bumper sticker, like it was brought to my attention that bumper sticker is not meant to share that you love dogs and you're trying to find other people that love dogs. It
No.
was, you're excusing your bad driving. So when people honk at you, you can say, oh, well, they must love dogs. Not, I'm an asshole and just cut them off at the light. That's what the point of the bumper sticker is. And I didn't realize it. My whole life, I thought.
I don't think the people who have those bumper stickers know that either, to be honest. Maybe that was the intent of the designer, but I don't think most people go, I need an excuse to feel better about when I get honked at.
I don't
Do
know.
you think? But I also don't think they were like, I need this bumper sticker because I'm going to be able to build community. There's going to be a random person who honks at me while we're driving, and now we're going to stop and become friends. Like, I don't think that's a thing either.
I don't think it was that. I think that they were like, I want to say that I love dogs, like, and then that way somebody who's reading the bumper sticker is like, I love dogs too, right? And then maybe it's like, boom, and so you're not creating like a community, but you're creating like an experience of a community, a fake community, a community where you feel like you're connecting with people, but you're not.
So like those Jeep people that give each other rubber ducks.
Exactly.
I need a
doing.
Jeep just for that sole purpose.
I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee right now.
You have another new
car? But do they give you ducks for those, or is it just the Jeeps?
It's just the Wranglers.
No idea.
It's just the Wranglers.
I don't know. I've had it for less than 12 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought you bought another car again. I was like,
oh God, no! I wouldn't have bought that.
Oh, well,
just buy a car every Tuesday. I mean, I know it seems like it, but oh wait, it's
Thursday.
I don't even know what day it is. It's Thursday.
Poor Jillian. She hasn't been in an office in a while. The days are getting away from her.
It's true.
Yeah, and that
It's
adult
true.
Capri Sun helps.
It's just sugar. I don't even. How much alcohol is in
It's
this?
just the
Like,
mix.
none.
It's not even alcohol.
None.
You're just
5%.
there you go.
Mr. Willie. She was making fun of me before you got on here. I am working my way through the freezer. We're trying to use up everything that's in the freezer, like all of the things. And so I need to
I'm not
finish
making fun of you.
these
That's
cocktails.
ingenious. People get smarter and smarter with how to drink anymore. It's like back in my day, they had those, what were they called? Body shots. They were little plastic bags full of alcohol, and by the time you remembered you had them and you were drinking at a baseball game or something, their body temperature and disgusting.
Oh, wow. That's not what I would have thought of when I heard body shot, gotta say. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, me
Interesting.
either.
Maybe it's a regional thing.
They were just little plastic shooters of alcohol, but they were just in like IV bags. You could take them anywhere you went.
Huh. My body shots were they would stick the alcohol in your belly button and somebody would drink it out of your belly button. That's what I thought a body shot was.
No, that
That's-
is too.
Oh.
There's more than
That is
there's
accurate.
more than one definition.
Yeah. Well, I think we are sliding in our after the slide. So we should probably wrap this up because I think we talked about everything that was on the
Sounds good.
actual episode. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Dick Willie.
Thank you for having me. Anytime. I'll come back on whenever you want.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll talk to you again.
Bye, America.
All right. Well, Mudslide Mamas, I think that wraps it up for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to the next slide. Until then, bye.
Bye.